That loader is so fire.
Yes.
Choo choo, motherfucker.
Yeah. Those
Getting
bloody
bit-
over at corporate.
Those bloodies over at corporate.
Always getting bloody, always getting bloody. With their memos, with their faxes, with all of it.
Their bureaucracy.
Their bureaucracies. All of it. Weighing it down. Maybe something should do someone about it.
Hear, hear. Hear, hear.
When in Rome. Or when in Gay Paris.
Never in Gay Paris.
I can bloody drink to that. Why does it always sound so goofy to just say bloody? If you put bloody in, like, really unnecessarily.
I think it implies a slight misunderstanding of the English language.
Is that what you take away from it?
Yeah, because there's that video of the two guys arguing. They're like road rage.
Oh, the classic.
You f***ing bloody. You f***ing bloody.
That's
Bloody
That's one of the best videos ever.
Yeah, it rocks.
Yeah.
Because it proves that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what, like, the words themselves. It's like, as long as it's just like the intention is there.
Yeah, how you say
know?
it. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're getting it wrong, but they're using it right.
It's the thought that counts. It's the emotion that counts.
Yeah. And it's 100% emotion.
Well, speaking of 100% emotion, good afternoon, morning, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Brocast 9, as I count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9.
I'm your host, Alex, joined by Jim.
9.
And before we get too deep into the show, just got to make sure we shout out those patrons over at the Jar Media Patreon, or those Patreons over at Patreon. Yeah? Huh? Who get their names read out in the first or second week of each month. We're recording this. Is this the... Oh, it's actually the first today. So we won't do it this one. We'll do it in the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, get your goofy names read if you're a Dibby tier or above. Get access to the Jar Media group chat too, which gave us a couple of suggestions for this episode. And you also make the audio versions of the show possible. And just the show possible, to be honest. Which is always awesome, always fresh. You know, bro, we got some stuff to talk about, but not too much before we get into that housekeeping where we round out those conversations from the previous episode. And there was some tantalizing stuff in there, some thought-provoking, what's a good word? Epicness.
Some epics.
A thought-provoking epicness, sort of swashing over the comments. The Robert DiGiorno 8690 can get us started here. It's very funny hearing them talk about the YouTuber cameos in Smiling Friends now with the Nostalgia Critic cameo last night. So obviously this was left about a week ago. Do you know about this? In season 2 of Smiling Friends, there is a Nostalgia Critic cameo, which is awesome, of course.
That rocks.
And a long-running, like, only plays, like, gag
Yeah,
they return to.
That belongs.
And on that note, there was this weird tweet going around that was like, I don't know if they're like a big Nostalgia Critic fan or what, but it was like, yeah, it was a screenshot of the frame of the critic in Smiling Friends.
Mm-hmm.
And the tweet was something like, yeah, I bet the Sardonicast guys are reeling now. I bet they're upset. It's like, what?
Well, did they think you were beefing with the critic?
And it's like, what? But like the running gag is a reference to the only plays critic stuff. I don't know. It's just weird.
Is this because of The Wall stuff? What does Sardonicast have to do with the Nostalgia Critic?
I guess I know Rouse made a few videos on, like, you know, those team up movies with Angry Joe and the whole Channel Awesome crew and that lot. So I guess that counts as a slight. I guess our Wall video.
Yeah.
Adam and I were in the fair use stuff We were both on Channel Awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what they're
God,
referring
yeah.
to. I don't know what. They're like the way people view these things is like it's quite like charged.
Yeah, they're just. I think maybe ever since the end of the Kendrick Drake beef, people are just looking for it elsewhere. You know. So I guess you better get that pen working.
Cream Jerry Cream has a conspiracy to kind of manifest. Did anyone ever notice that the fake teacher Jarling and the evil Jarling have similar Reddit names? Fake teacher Jarling, Chris P. Bacon, and the evil Jarling, Chris Peacock. Pretty suspicious, if you ask me. Is there any truth to this, or is this pure conspiracy?
Hey, correlation isn't causation, apart from sometimes when you want it to be.
But you know what they say? 2 in the bush equals 4 in the hand.
Is this 4 in the hand or 2 in the bush?
Depends which angle you're looking at it from.
Or is this a 2-bird type thing?
2-bird double stone.
Yeah.
And a bird's so big you probably need 1 stone each. That's kind of what I'm thinking. You know, big
Turkey.
birds like emus, even
That
cassowaries. Yeah, you definitely need a stone each. Maybe even 2 multiple stones each.
Yeah.
So it's what?
Maybe
2 birds, multiple stones.
2 birds, at least 4 stones.
2 birds, at least 4 stones. Let's just simplify that to multiple. You know, because you might need more than 4.
Should we say several? Because multiple.
Several's good, yeah.
Yeah.
That implies a handful.
2 birds, several stones. Well, several means anything more than like 2.
It doesn't mean literally
means
more than
more.
7.
No. It means 2 or more. Yeah.
2 or more.
It could be 3 things, and
so you say I've got a couple.
If
I've
it's
got a
2,
couple of.
that
And
would
then
be 2.
anything above.
Yeah, several.
I have several. I guess I'd never thought about that.
Yeah, it's quite irritating.
It's very irritating.
Because I always assumed it was to do with 7, but it's not. It's nothing. It's nothing to do with 7.
We briefly mentioned last episode how it's kind of standard practice in like a lot of American service jobs that you're not allowed to sit down. And Jack3136 wrote in saying this. I work in a card factory. The shop, not a factory that makes cards, in Essex. We can't sit outside of lunch breaks. And being an understaffed shop, I often can't sit on my lunch break either. It's a 1.5 mile walk to work, which is around 25 minutes, and I work from 8:45 a.m. to 5:45 p.m. So I'm up at 5:30 a.m. standing for 9 hours plus 50 minutes of walking, 3 miles total. So for most days of the week, I'm on my feet for 10 hours a day. So it ain't just America, huh?
That highlights some important aspects. I
would say it highlights plenty of important aspects.
Yeah.
But as always, it depends the angle on which you view it.
Well, yeah. I think the one thing to say is that, hey, at least you're going to be like pretty healthy. You know,
the silver lining.
Yeah.
You know, my strong legs from standing.
On my Robo Watch, it tracks how long I stand every day, and I've got like my daily requirement is 12 hours of standing. So I try to stand a lot in the day.
Damn straight.
But yeah, I don't think it's something you should want to do, not be forced to do.
I hear.
I'm not defending Card Factory here. The factories of cards, or the shop that sells cards and other partying supplies.
What do you think? This is Moonpig? You think this is a...
Moonpig, they probably sit because it's all online.
Someone's got to be sending those cards to Mama. To Papa. To Grandma. To Grandpapa.
Great-grandmama. Grandpapa.
I've got that hardcore portrait now of great-grandma.
A portrait?
Have you not seen it?
I don't think so.
From the chaotic trip to Wales, it was one of the things that was given to me by a grandfather. It's like an ancient photograph. Not literally ancient, just an old one. How do we get here? What are we doing?
I don't know.
What are we doing? Well, I guess for this one, bro, I'm going to need you to double up and hold this guy. Okay. Just for a moment. because I gotta read this one. I'm gonna say the name. I was rewatching old jar videos and it made me sad because Alex was so hot before he got all fat. You talk to your mother with that mouth? Anyway, now's the time where we normally have a snack break. Give me a second. I gotta get another angle too. Okay, this is gonna be hardcore. Right, ready? Maybe make it a bit ASMR for the family.
Snacks right here.
Ready? Sorry if I make a mess, guys.
Normally we edit this bit out. Really sucks.
Don't worry, I'll edit it out.
These are good. You ever had these?
What are they?
Oh no, they look like a mix as well. I tried that one.
They look like little pasta.
They do look like pasta. They kind of taste like pasta. They're real good. Hang on. Let's go this way.
Oh, it's like a little snack mix.
Now look at it. These ones look like wagon wheels. Look. Have one of these.
Oh, the wagon wheel one. Are they all the same flavour or do they vary?
They kind of have the same flavor, but they got different textures. That's kind of the fun of it, you know. Hold on, nearly done.
Oh, a whole chunk of cigar just fell into my mouth while eating that one. That's quite...
I just love these wheels.
Yeah, the wheel's good. Do you like the penne pasta type?
I like to drink chocolate milk through them. I'm sorry, audio listeners, this must be horrible, but it's kind of a new thing we've introduced, a little snack break. These are the pastas Jim was on about.
Penne pasta type.
This will be the last one. Yeah, I drink chocolate milk through these guys.
Now hook a brother up with one more.
Okay, I'll give you one. That's fair. What do you want? A wagon wheel? Do you want?
I want a penne pasta. I haven't.
What do you want? One of these?
Oh.
What about one of these?
Yeah, that looks more like some sort of nut.
Looks like a flower or a seed or something. Hell yeah. I really needed that. Cheers. Now let me just smoke on this stogie for a second. Where was I? What were we talking about?
Snacks?
I love snacks.
Yeah, I like snacks. See, I often, I don't have breakfast. I don't have lunch, I just have snacks. You know?
I don't even have dinner, I only snack.
Yeah. Because everyone's like, oh, snacking's bad for you. Well, what if it's all I do? You know?
The cows do it. You know, sheep do it. They eat grass all day
Well, yeah, they
long.
never stop. That's all they do. All they do is snack.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that in nature, it's unhealthy to snack?
Exactly. In nature.
In all throughout nature, everything is snacking. Wherever they can.
Well, you know what, bro?
Yeah.
Speaking of snacks.
Yeah.
Something happened to me this morning that just made me kind of stop for a minute and just feel like I needed to just chill, you know? Do you have any clue what I mean?
Mm-mm.
No, look. I was listening to it was like a podcast, they were talking about like this latest, I can't even remember what they call it, where PlayStation, they talk about all these releases and games or whatever. But before that, there was a reference to the new Call of Duty, right?
Oh, yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
And this podcast I was listening to, they were like talking about the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And all I was thinking about in my mind was like, this shit is like a parody of itself. You know? It makes me think of like, you know, Back to the Future 2 where he's sent to the future and they're playing like Jaws 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, look how absurd this reality is.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
it's
we're
like
living
the 16th Call of Duty Black Ops 6.
if not more. Yeah. It's just like, can we just agree as a collective just to like put the brakes on for a minute? You know, this isn't even about Call of Duty. This is about more than that. It's just like, as a culture, can we just like put the brakes on? Just have a stogie and just relax.
What, you're not excited?
Well, of course I got my pre-order in, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty hyped.
You're hyped.
Yeah.
You're on the crack
Maggie
train.
Thatcher was in it.
What?
She was in the trailer. She was in like the reveal for the reveal trailer.
Like a zombies character.
They released a trailer for the trailer, and a clip of it was Maggie Thatcher being like, "I'm a bad person. Everybody, just want to lay it out there.
Is she a zombies
terrible."
boss?
No, she's just like a person in the campaign, which is going to be fire. Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been a very long time since I like watched or played the original Black Ops. I remember like in zombies you could play as Nixon, right?
Nixon,
JFK.
Kennedy, McNamara, and Castro. Those are the 4 playable.
What about in the
characters.
actual campaign of it? Did they have any of these? Was Nixon in it?
You
It
aim
was like
a
Cold War, wasn't it?
you aim a pistol at Kennedy's head at one point,
It's so out
and it's kind of implied that Mason maybe killed him. You know, the other guy was just the fool guy.
Right.
But that, I guess, didn't...
No, I know the reality is that like they were just going to keep making them forever until they stop making money. And that's just how everything works. But what was it about Call of Duty Black Ops 6 that stood out to me in that way that was just like, let's just take a breath, you know? Can we just put a pause on it and like play catch up, you know? I got lots of Call of Duties to get to.
Yeah,
you know,
the
I'm
thing
just out
is...
of the loop.
Like, I think it's because they put a number on this one. You know, because the previous Black Ops was Black Ops Cold War.
Which was technically Black Ops, 5?
I guess.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to work out, because I don't know what Black Ops... Black Ops 4 was that the one without a campaign? And Black Ops 3 was the one with, like, the...
I stopped paying attention MW3, I think. No, the one with the dog. Ghosts. Yeah. See, I can't even keep it straight when I'm like...
Yeah, I think most people kind of stop paying attention there. But
You say that, but they sell like millions and millions and millions of copies.
yeah, but nobody pays attention. You know, it's just like going through the motions.
It's just like the new issue of Playboy. You just get it, you know?
Yeah, you just can't help but get it.
Yeah, because you're reading it for the articles.
Yeah, you've given up on the interesting human beings
Yeah. The interesting human beings.
of Playboy. But yeah.
I kind of want to just... I've got no natural segue to this, but I did want to talk to you about Furiosa. Because in the gap of us last recording, we saw it in IMAX.
We did.
On the same day, we recorded the 3-hour-long Red Dead 2, as they say. So that's in the works. It's recorded now. It's going to take me a while to put together. With some other stuff I got going on, but I got like the intro done. I showed you that. So that's...
I think it's going to be a
coming.
nice video.
I think it's going to be a nice, juicy video.
I think it's going to be nice.
I think it's... yeah. That's the word to describe it. Nice. It's a little bit nice.
Pleasant.
A little bit juicy. It's going to be nice. You just put your headphones in. You sit down for
Yeah.
3 hours. And you just unwind.
Yeah.
Relax.
You kind of like Bugs Bunny sit in a hammock and get all twisted up type thing.
But speaking of unwinding, it's kind of like the opposite sort of feeling to Furiosa, which is a non-stop action romp in the craziest Aussie universe known as Mad Max. It's a jar, I guess, meme at this point, like how much you love specifically the Mad Max films, George Miller in general. It's been 10 years since Fury Road. What did you think?
I initially felt conflicted because it wasn't at all what I was expecting.
I was so happy to experience that.
Yeah, little did I know that was the perfect thing, because if the movie just tried to replicate what Fury Road
It
did,
didn't even seem like that was even on the board at all. Like, let's outdo Fury Road. It seemed like, no, let's enrich Fury Road.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, it blew my mind. Like, I wasn't as moment to moment into it as I was Fury Road. I wasn't bouncing in the cinema seat, like, with just overwhelmed with pure hype. What are they gonna do next? Like,
Well, yeah. Well, to be honest, Brendan, I kind of was at certain points.
Yeah, like
no spoilers, But there's an action sequence towards the middle of the movie, which I thought was incredible.
Yeah,
it's 15 minutes long. It's straight up 15 minutes long. And I thought that was like, yes, you haven't done that kind of thing yet. You're exploring like a different space, like almost literally.
Straight up.
This rocks.
Yeah. And it kind of felt like we took Fury Road to a certain point. This is like one area where like I could do the same thing.
Yeah.
And just flesh it out in a different way. And yeah, that moment I was like, woo boy. But I feel like the film itself had set me up to not expect more of that type of thrill. It was giving me like different, satisfying.
Yeah, because it's way more ambitious with a plot, and it's like spread over years and years, whereas the Fury Road plot is extremely linear, you know.
Yeah,
and a lot of.
Whereas I feel like if you're going into this film expecting like Anya Taylor-Joy being Furiosa, her story for a lot of it, a big like chunk of the movie is following a different character, basically. She's like along for the ride.
Yeah, and he likes to, he's kind of like Denis Villeneuve, where he doesn't really like dialogue that much, so he would try and write things or structure things in a way where it can just lean on the visual storytelling, which is, you know, the unique thing about filmmaking. So the Furiosa character, Anya Taylor-Joy, and the kid who's in it for like the first hour or whatever.
Or even like the first half of the whole movie.
Is pretty much a silent protagonist. She'll speak here and there when absolutely necessary, but yeah, I love that choice.
I feel like it's you could watch the movie with like dialogue turned off and still know what is happening.
Yeah.
And some people might hear that as a negative, but I think it's wholly a positive, especially with like what they're actually juggling. The post-apocalyptic politics.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's all thought through, and to me it felt like it perfectly worked with Fury Road.
Like going to, you're more familiar, I should say, with Fury Road, where they're talking about Gastown, they're talking about, what's the gun one? Bullet Farm. And I really loved how they like visually explore these settings.
Yeah.
And use them as like, they're like forts. There's the, you know, the kind of Trojan horse scene and all this kind of stuff going on. Just building up the world building. The moat of oil and the flamethrower cannons, and like I don't know, just riding that line of like, this is cartoonish and silly, but
there's
something mythic about it.
Yeah, it feels mythic and historic.
And like, it's not supposed to be. This ain't like a Star Wars thing where they've got a crew of like people who are like, no, the lore in this thing said that this cannot be this way. It's kind of just like, well, whatever we needed for this movie is just how it works now. Like Mad Max, the framing is mad, everyone's mad, there's unreliable narrators, there is this mythic feeling.
Yeah, I think a lot of people forget the end of Fury Road. When it's got like some quote, and it's the first history man. Like this is a story being told. The movie we're seeing may not be how it actually went down.
Exactly, like it's like been passed down vocally.
This is how they're telling it. And when you look at all of the Mad Max movies through that lens,
yeah, because they all work that way. Yeah,
yeah. Whereas this movie feels more like a much broader telling of history.
Yeah,
you know, because the span of the movie isn't like a couple days.
No.
The average Mad Max movie is like just Max experiencing something for a few days. Whereas this is like a years-long saga where there's like power dynamics and shifting political aspects.
Yeah, it almost turns into like, you know, like royal, like Renaissance warring type, like
Yeah, and to avoid spoilers, I guess we won't go into too much detail, because I think, like, if you enjoyed Fury Road, you need to go and see this movie, because it's already, like, suffering in the box office. You need to support this movie.
Not that surprising to me, but
yeah,
I'm just happy. Selfishly, I'm happy we got it.
I'm glad we got it. I do think the trailers did a really bad job.
Yeah, it was badly advertised, and that's, I think, part of what I loved about it was, I don't know, I wasn't really going into it expecting a Fury Road. I don't know, it was an interesting, like, lack of expectation, but also, like, well, it's still George Miller writing and directing. But, like, when I was buying the ticket and stuff, it was like, I don't feel hyped to see this.
Yeah.
But then when the film began, I was like, hold up, come on.
Mm-hmm.
You're showing this now? Oh no, this is really cool though. This is a lot of thought put into this. This was clearly planned out, and apparently all of it was actually written out
alongside Fury Road.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the game that came out was all like part of this like contract, where the game was supposed to have George Miller like involved a bit more, but he was just so busy with his stuff. So they based a bunch of like pre-production work and like comic books and stuff they'd made and like put into that game. Hence why there's this crossover of like certain characters show up and these names and references to things.
Yeah, there's a moment where a character straight up from the video game is in it. And
which I didn't notice, but
I immediately was like, that really seems like this thing, but I feel like he wouldn't pay respect to the video game this much. But it was all created in the same time.
Yeah.
But have you seen the stuff about the video game lately?
What do you mean by that?
George Miller in an interview was like,
he's a bit sour, isn't he?
Yeah.
Well, because they used all this stuff without his involvement, really, and so he was kind of annoyed that it kind of robbed some of the things he wanted in films that are in the game. Now,
right.
Which I get. From his perspective, it is his baby.
Yeah. But he also said he wants Kojima to make a Mad Max game.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if that could
I was
work.
thinking about that, like, I was talking to you about it outside of recording or whatever. We're like, I kind of want to play that game. I don't care about, like, the punchy Arkham nonsense, but, like, the car stuff looked really cool, and the goblin guy in the back, and the...
Yeah.
I mean, car combat looked really cool.
Even the melee combat is, like, good. That game is good. There's just I would have done a few things differently, but I could talk about that for ages.
Yeah.
But the Avalanche, like, head guy got sour about George Miller's comments, and I remember hearing that Warner Bros had been like a huge problem for Avalanche.
They just are a huge problem. Full stop.
Especially in the video game industry.
Well, look at
they're terrible.
What they did to the Arkham team recently,
and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Shadow of War and stuff.
Yeah, they're awful.
But yeah, like they wanted this could be incorrect, but I remember hearing around the time it was coming out, Warner Bros were pushing for Max in the Mad Max game to be an American actor.
That's right. Yeah, absurd.
They wanted an American, and it was Avalanche that were like, no, he needs to be Australian.
Yeah, like he has to be.
It's
cannot
literally
work pointless to do otherwise. Like that's one of the things I love about it so much. It has to have that Aussie identity. That not gonna scum us anymore.
Yeah.
All this stuff, like all this certain way of phrasing things, of the kind of cartoonish way they'd speak, slightly exaggerated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like very quotable in the same way kind of Fury Road is.
Yeah. And I do want to shout out, going back to Furiosa, Chris Hemsworth. What the hell, man?
A great surprise, what an awesome villain. Really fleshed out arc, like super satisfying end.
Yeah.
We're just a fleshed out character.
I may be jumping the gun, but it may be the best villain a George Miller Mad Max
I would say
story he's ever heard.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. Maybe slightly less iconic, just visually. But in terms of actual character work and like...
yeah. I just feel like it's going to be one of those kind of Blade Runner 2049, like cult classic type films. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to sit well. I think people are just going to consider it a companion piece.
Yeah.
That enriches it.
It totally does.
Yeah. I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah, I'm planning on seeing it again next weekend, I think.
And I think it's already been announced towards the end of June it's coming out on digital, so I'll be able to chuck on that.
See,
I'd scene in the middle whenever I want.
Yeah. I'd happily do like a marathon watching Furiosa straight into...
That would be cool.
The movie kind of ends in a way that just leads straight into Fury Road, so yeah.
And shout out to the... are they called the History Men? Is that what they're actually called? These like Oracle, like they're like Wikipedia people. And there's like working with Chris Hemsworth. He's like
covered in tattoos of like history.
Yeah. And Chris Hemsworth, who's like a dumbass, like asks for like, oh, what does this thing mean? And the History Man like knows concepts and can explain words and meanings to him. I thought that was really cool. Just the appreciation for history all around.
Yeah, it's a unique world because it's fleshed out, but it makes no sense.
Yeah,
because the timeline is that like Max was alive with his family during like the decline of society.
Yeah,
but the way everyone's behaving in Fury Road and Furiosa, it's like it's been 100, 200 years.
Yeah.
Since like the old life is just
gone
history.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really make sense, but it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Like they make it so believable, and everything else is so thoroughly fleshed out.
It's got such a unique tone that makes the suspension of disbelief just not matter to me in ways that it might in other movies if they are slightly more self-serious or like use green screen in a different way. There is just this kind of exaggerated nature to it where it's like, yeah, maybe the shot here or there is a bit too like green screeny or insane, but there is something, it is mad. Like that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
It's like, is this even like real? Is this?
Yeah, everything is so manic. You feel like Mad Max, like you're going nuts.
Yeah, and it's just so much like fun. There's stakes, there's violence, but there's like this comedic thing going on. You can tell he's worked in animation as well with these Penguin movies.
Yeah.
Just with like the way the depth of field is used and like maximizing. I mentioned this on the Sardonicast review, but just there's that shot early on with a motorbike chase and someone crashes. And then it cuts and it like shows his legs protruding from the sand. And it's like in this cartoonish way. But it's like, you're just maximizing like the fun of this, and like you were just having so much fun. Everyone is having fun, even though they're apparently horrifying to like make. And like Anya Taylor-Joy like recently is like, yeah, it was horrifying, but like everyone really gets it. You know, they know the tone, they know what George is going for, they believe in him, and it shows. Yeah, I was quite surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't.
The chariot bikes,
yeah, that's one of
the rig with all these gadgets, and it's just so sick.
Cause I didn't know how they could like outdo the monster truck, Immortan Joe's monster truck
and that they don't is the thing. I feel like they're just scratching a different itch.
Yeah, they just go to a different like alley, and they're just like, let's see what's down here.
Yeah.
Then he's got like 10 motorbikes, and he's riding them like a chariot. It's so sick.
Yeah, hell yeah. Make sure you see it. Well, you see it on the big screen if you can before it goes, because this might be the last Mad Max film, to be honest. He's 80 years old, making these damn things, same age as our grandpa, like making these. Who can barely walk, but this guy is like going to the Aussie desert and making this stuff. It's admirable.
I'd like to see one more. I want to see a Mad Max movie, like a send-off.
I would love that too.
Because I don't think anyone else could do it.
No, of course not. Oh, that would be so sad, someone else making him.
It will happen. I bet you it's going to happen in our lifetime.
In our lifetime, perhaps. Yeah. But I just don't know don't know how many more he has in him. You know? and how many more times they're going to be willing to give him like $150 million to make another one of these. But yeah, we'll see after these messages. Yeah.
Life can be a dick sometimes, so get your dick from out your hand. And don't be a dick, wear a dick. Dick the Head t-shirts available now. Check the description below.
Yeah. I was watching Vsauce the other day. Did you know spaghetti is plural?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetto is a single one.
Spaghetto, you're lying.
It's true.
You're lying! I know you're lying. When you're done strangling him, let me have a go.
This is what you get.
I'm sorry, sometimes just evil can come out when the right mixture, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone's capable.
I think
Never
everyone
forget
is capable.
Never forget that.
Yeah, that's why you got to treat everyone with love and respect.
You got to treat everyone with love and respect, otherwise
Unless they're
Dobby might get waterboarded.
Yeah, or straight up drowned.
Yeah, when you waterboard Dobby just a little bit too far, you know?
Yeah. You can't die from waterboarding though, right?
You could.
How?
You can't breathe, right?
You can. It's like simulating drowning. That's why it works. So I don't know why all these people are making such a big deal about it. Like,
well, I didn't know that fact about it.
Yeah.
Just being cowards in the end. Just being little babies.
Yeah. Oh, I was forced to give information. You know? Maybe you shouldn't have had the information.
Welcome to the second half of the cast, where we head over to the suggestion thread over on the subreddit, where any bloody blighter can go and leave any bloody query.
I won't argue.
Just like Sinek Doki 239, who's got a big one, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't read the whole thing through, so this might be crazy. Bear with me. Hey guys, while eagerly anticipating Deadpool and Wolverine, like many other Jowlings, I felt an inexplorable obligation to re-examine Free Guy, and was struck anew by the brilliance of the sequence where Guy battles Dude.
A veritable tour de force of modern cinema. The incorporation of Marvel's Captain America's shield, a Star Wars lightsaber, and the Hulk's arm is not mere fan service but a profound commentary on the omnipresence and integration of contemporary mythologies within our cultural consciousness. Create a sublime pastiche that blends high-octane action with the intertextuality defining our media landscape. The choreography and visual storytelling are meticulously executed, each movement imbued with layered significance, transforming a simple fight scene into an evocative tableau that will be dissected and revered in film studies for years to come. The artistic purpose of the Captain America shield, representing protection and resilience, contrasts with the offensive prowess symbolized by the Star Wars lightsaber and the primal force and rage that often underlies the quest for justice, embodied by the Hulk's arm. The juxtaposition of defense, aggression, and unrestrained ferocity within a single battle reflects the multifaceted nature of Guy's character evolution, balancing his inherent benevolence with the necessity of confronting adversaries head-on. This sophisticated interplay of well-known symbols not only serves as a clever narrative device, but also enriches the thematic depth, demonstrating how these contemporary mythologies can be recontextualized to explore new dimensions of storytelling and character development. As the culmination of erudite humor, fervent character development, and a enthralling spectacle that define the movie. Up to this point, this scene is not merely a cinematic spectacle, but a profound exploration of narrative and symbolic convergence, elevating Free Guy into the echelons of the most essential landmark moments in film history. A feat that directors like Rishi, Visconti, and Masaki Kobayashi would apostatize as a worthy accretion to their polymathic legacies.
Thanks for the comment, J. Peterson. Yeah, nice one.
I would just say agreed, except for the parts where I don't really agree.
I'd say to even approach this comment, you'd have to really break down what is meant by accretion.
What do you really mean by the word Deadpool?
What do you mean by the word Guy? Because if we follow through with that prosthesis,
and if we're going there, what do we mean by the word what? What is what? Where do you even begin with the word what?
Beyond that, when you say what is what, there's a question mark. Where does the question mark originate? Well, you have to look back to the Aztecs. Right?
And even before then, what is defined by letters which begin with W? Where does W come from?
And W is derived from two U's.
Two U's, or is it two V's?
Two U's. So it looks like two V's, but double U implies it comes from U. So where does U come from? Anyway, next question.
I would say it comes from Ryan Reynolds' brain. Buy his gin.
Buy his gin.
That's
What's it
my
called?
answer.
What's his gin called?
Aviation gin.
Aviation gin. Yeah. Let's just say Jar Media, we support aviation gin.
Sponsored in spirit.
Yeah, not
Get it?
financially. Hey, in spirit.
By
Yeah.
aviation gin, kind of like the cool aviator sunglasses that make us all go, yes, we're Top Gun.
Or, yes, we agree with toxic masculinity.
Did you just say the TM word? Trademark?
Sorry. Yeah, beep it.
Yeah, don't worry. It's beeped, just like this word I'm going to say. Yummy. Been a long time since I whipped that one out.
Jesus.
It's just one of those evenings. I just really felt like ripping it out.
Yeah, sometimes you just like, I've been this way inclined for too long.
Well, speaking about being this way inclined for too long, No Haj wrote in with this. Bear Jar. Absolutely
Bear.
bizarre anecdote to tell. I was on a walk by my house the other day, and on my way home, I saw a 50 to 70-year-old looking man wearing more or less full hiking attire. However, I was completely shocked and bewildered to see that he was wearing a Halo Nightfall t-shirt. It was the same design as the main poster/cover of the show. What should I think about this? What could this man's story possibly be? I had no idea there were even Halo Nightfall fans, let alone elderly English Halo Nightfall fans. I don't think I've ever seen someone wearing Halo merch in this country, so I'm shocked that this was my first experience. So for those who don't know, Halo Nightfall was
Terrible.
It was awful. It was like I think it was packed in with Halo 5. It was like a TV show that you had to watch through the Halo channel.
It was pre-Halo 5.
Was it?
Yeah.
Are you sure it wasn't launched at the same time? I'm pretty sure that's the one with Locke, right? You watched it through the Halo channel. That's all I remember.
It
doesn't exist anymore.
I wouldn't have started it if it came out at the same time.
It might have been a Master Chief Collection thing.
Yeah.
It was like in the build-up.
It might have been.
You watched it through the Halo channel, which no longer exists. It sucked. It was about like a bunch of soldiers being stranded on a moon where hunter worms were trying to get them. That was the plot.
And the answer to this question is that this guy might be homeless and got it for free.
Either homeless, has a grandson who doesn't want his garbage anymore, or this guy collects Halo loot crates.
Maybe he used the Jar Media loot.
We know for a fact he didn't. Well, dude. Oh my god. Bix Bite Hollow says, Sup Jar, I've just started listening again after a year-long break, so I'm probably a bit out of the loop, but the cast seems to be good still, enjoying the Brocast. Anyways, my question is regarding the Up Down album. On rateyourmusic.com it was listed, and like the Jar Media Takes Over Letterboxd incident, it was number 1 on satire/plunderphonics/ novelty for a while. It still has a good score. Is Alex planning on officially releasing the album on Bandcamp or anything like that someday? Will we hear anything else from the great Man Boy Man? Cheers. Well, I've got one for you right now.
This instant.
Right now, that's just come to my head. Right?
Okay.
Poo-wee-fart.
2-second track.
Like an interlude.
No. Yeah.
I'm thinking about making a whole album of just interludes. They're the best part.
Yeah.
Screw it.
You cut out the guff.
Cut out the guff and go straight to the interlude.
Yeah. No more waffle. Just the meat.
Succinct.
Just the sinew. The tendons. Call the album Tendons.
Tendons, parentheses,
Interlude. Yeah. The whole album. You have to release an album, then the interlude album, and then an album. With no interludes.
With no interludes.
Yeah. The first album has interludes. Second album, only interludes. Third album, no interludes.
No, the third album is one long interlude. Like an hour-long interlude.
Between the interlude, like after the interlude album.
So, no, first album, just interludes, like 10 interludes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Second album, just the normal album. No interludes.
Mm-hmm.
Third album, an hour-long interlude. The end. Just wrap it up.
Yeah.
I might have to cut that because that's too good of an idea.
Yeah. Beep it. Keep it in, just beep it.
Yeah, I think I will keep
People
that
can read my lips. Do you remember that show? Read my lips.
I don't remember Read My Lips. What was it? Like a game
It was
show?
like a dog. No, it was like a dog.
Basil Brush?
No, like a cartoon dog. Read my lips.
Like a puppet?
No. Cartoon
that weird
dog.
French show.
Was it French?
Yeah.
Read my lips.
Oh, you're a talking dog. Yeah.
Yeah, read my lips.
No, it was Watch My Chops.
Watch my chops. Yes. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Dude, I haven't thought about Watch My Chops in 20 years.
Yeah. No one's thought about Watch My Chops in 100 years.
There's like a weird underground scene of French
Of
animated
Watch My
shows.
Chops, yeah.
There's Watch My Chops, Johnny Thunder? No. What was it called?
That was Lego.
No. Yeah, I'm getting mixed up. What was it called? It was like
That was Canadian. The Johnny Test.
Johnny Test.
Yeah,
Yeah,
with Bling
or
Bling
French
Boy.
Canadian, Whatever.
Yeah, Bling Bling Boy.
Bling Bling
Johnny
Boy.
Test. And Mr. Black and Mr. White. And Mr. White was black and Mr. Black was white.
Was that actually?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious. That's like a South Park gag.
Yeah.
Well, that's a joke in Red Dead 2 as well. There's a side quest with Mr. Black and Mr. White or whatever, and they're the inverse races. And you got to rip off wanted posters in roads.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it really?
Yeah.
That's a classic joke, I suppose. But yeah.
Pretty funny.
Originated in Johnny Test.
Mm.
Bling Bling Boy.
Miniature Rani, longtime Jarling, says, "Howdy, Jar. Just a request for some recommendations. What are some of Jar's favorite album experiences? I'm talking about those front-to-back albums that tell a great story or set a unique and powerful tone, like Kid A from Radiohead or The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails, Bear Bear, and much love. What comes to mind? What immediately jumps into your head?"
Obvious.
Huh?
T-Pab.
That is the obvious, yeah.
Like the...
We've both been listening to that D'Angelo record.
I think I've been listening to a different one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He seems like to have a few kind of reliable...
Yeah. You could just stick on an album of his and be like, just chill.
Mm-hmm. Is Kid A considered like better than In Rainbows? So that's like my one.
It's not.
It's not.
Straight up not. It's like Stranger.
In Rainbows, which one?
No, Kid A.
Yeah, it's definitely Stranger.
It's Stranger. I think I get confused between Kid A and Amnesiac. Because I've listened to them like together
in the same space of time, so they merge. Yeah.
But Kid A, I think, might have my favorite song of Radiohead's discography of all time.
Which?
I think I mentioned it on the last one, if not the one before that. How to Disappear Completely.
Yeah, that's a very good song.
Awesome song. But albums, more obvious ones, The Dark Side of the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
The first, Dire Straits, their first album.
Is that the blue one?
No.
Because that's another one, though.
Yeah.
I would consider on that level. Just search Dire Straits, look at their albums, whichever the blue one is.
Like Down to the Waterline.
Yeah.
That first song, like...
Yeah.
You know, but it just keeps going. Fire banger album.
And albums that have no skips are just like...
Yeah.
Hell yeah. By David Bowie.
Ziggy. Fuck.
Which is like Fascination. And,
My favourite Bowie album is I'm blanking hard.
For me, it's
my brain's really bad for this sort of shit.
Mine is too. Any 70s Bowie, I would say.
Crazy Monsters and Super Creeps. That is my favourite Bowie album.
Really?
It's phenomenal. It's like Fashion and Ashes to Ashes. It's No Game.
Ziggy
God
Safe.
Damn.
Hunky Dory. Which is the like...
Aladdin Sane is like ridiculously good.
Yeah, station to station too.
Station to station.
Just consistent. Young Americans, that's what I was trying to think.
Young Americans, yeah.
I'm big on that one. I do skip across the universe, but I just have this thing about Beatles covers. I just can't do it. I've been reminded now, and this doesn't like relate, loosely relates to the question, but I want to shout out this song that you'd been listening to recently, Algorithm by Childish Gambino. I just wanted to talk to you about it because I haven't had a song's lyrics specifically connect to me.
Yeah.
In a way that's like, you were just saying what I've been thinking.
Yeah, and this is
awesome.
stuff he wrote ages ago.
Yeah, it's like 2020 album, right? And it's like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like finally finished it.
Yeah.
And I'm not the biggest Childish Gambino.
No, I've
fan
never
by
really
any
properly
means.
delved into his stuff.
Like I like Redbone and stuff, but who doesn't?
The obvious stuff, yeah.
And This Is America. But I've never really been able to sit through one of his albums. Which kind of applies here because in his latest album, it's called like Alta Vista or something. The second song, Algorithm, I reached that song in the album and I was like, I'm just gonna rinse this. It broke.
Someone after him has like Ariana Grande and
and I started listening to that and it was like,
it was fine, but it wasn't the same.
Ain't feeling right to me. But Algorithm, goddamn. I was saying to you the other day, like it feels like I know for a fact Childish Gambino was influenced heavily by Yeezus. He loved Kanye.
Yeah.
And specifically, like there's interviews of him talking about Yeezus. Like it's kind of like a punk rock move by Kanye to just be like, fuck you, I'm not gonna do what you expect.
It was like industrial, it was heavy.
Yeah, and the first song on Yeezus, to be fair, like it has snippets of classic Kanye, like using a
Sampling it, yeah.
And then it kind of jolts back to this industrial, like thumping sound.
Yeah. I love industrial stuff. I think it really grips me.
But Yeezus, I think just lyrically goes to places that's like,
there's one that's like insane.
I can hold my liquor, but these hoes can't handle me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried a few times with Yeezus. So.
Yeah, I still listen to it sometimes, and I'm like, this slapping at the moment, but I can't listen to it all the time. Whereas Algorithm, fire.
Yeah.
Lyrically, hits the nail on the head.
It's just what he's talking about, like supercomputer status, walking along the streets, everyone is an addict, stumbling concrete. What was the motivation? Constant communication. Where he's obviously talking about the Pandora's box of the internet and technology, and it's like we've just made ourselves guinea pigs. That's exactly what he's talking about. What was the motivation? Constant communication. Everyone want to get chose like Moses, as in like get noticed in the algorithm. Whatever your thing, and that kind of baked in ego you sort of have to like want to get noticed in the first place.
I love the line that's like we all want to live forever, but we're all gonna die. And like trying to live forever through your input into like social media, being noticed.
I thought also, you sell your daughter on that data stream, go finally make a hit now. It's just so applicable. With all these like weird, like we talk about what's he called, like Ryan's toy reviews, and it's like it's exactly what's happening, man. Like all this like weird kids content on TikTok and all this weird like abusive.
Yeah, the guy getting his kid to pretend to be dead in his swimming pool. Like
here it is. Humans don't understand. Humans will sell a lie. Humans gotta survive. We know we gon' die.
Yeah, that's
nothing can live forever. We gon' dry. This is exactly that.
Potent, man. But also it just sounds funky.
Which is the double entendre of like algorithm and rhythm being in the word.
Yeah.
And it being this really like
Everybody, move your body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good ass song.
It was a good ass song. I've been rinsing that lately. Nothing to do with that question that made me want to talk to you about that. But seeing as we're kind of talking about this one from Past Confusion 3234 makes sense. We need to break down on Jamie's guru lifestyle of not using social media. Which ones does he use? Which ones does he not use using this life-changing adventure, and which ones should us followers still use? YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Spotify, Reddit, TikTok, WhatsApp, DeviantArt, Twitch, Discord gaming console accounts, even more places I forgot to mention. We need to know as collective what he still uses, what he no longer, and what he never. So use aspiring apprentices can follow in the right path. God, I can't read right now.
I don't do these things to be followed in doing these things.
Mm-hmm. But what do you use? You use YouTube.
Well, I kind of don't want to say, because like do use the ones you actually want to use, and don't use the ones that you feel like you shouldn't. I'm not doing it because it's like universally the right thing. I do it because I feel like it's the best thing for me. So, fuck you. You know?
So, YouTube?
Yeah, I use YouTube and WhatsApp.
Mine is, yeah.
But I don't see it as like, if you use Instagram, you're a fucking little worm. You're a worm who wastes your life. It's like, I still waste my life on YouTube, but like the grip that like Instagram had on me, the grip I know TikTok would.
Yeah. Because
that algorithm is like
perfect, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, and Twitter. When I found myself like looking at the people spewing their opinions out and the hatred I felt, I was like, this doesn't help me at all.
Yeah.
Because like I can argue with them, which will just set both of us more securely in our perspectives. I can do nothing and just get annoyed by it. Or I can not see it. And then no one suffers.
Yeah. Twitter's the one I feel like I would need to kick to improve my life, but I can't do it.
I feel like especially now, because everything I hear about it is anecdotal.
Dead bodies and porn.
Yeah. It sounds like a hellscape.
That's what, yeah. Until like a week ago, something just changed in the algorithm, and then for me it's just like kind of genuinely funny memes. But even then, it's just brain rot, you know? Like, you don't need it.
Yeah. The interesting thing with the algorithm is that it shows you more of what you already pay attention to.
Yeah.
So, intentional or not, like for me on YouTube Shorts, I found that I kept getting like Christian and Islamic videos. Like appealing to Christians.
What were you looking
Muslims.
up? Why was
I wasn't looking up anything, but when like the odd Christian debate or like Islam debate would come up, I'd watch the whole thing. So then it was like,
then it thinks you want.
Oh, this guy likes this guy.
Okay.
He's a Muslim, or this guy, he's a Christian. This guy is a Christian Muslim. So it just started showing me both sides, and I was like, it got to a point. Because I do find like those discussions interesting, but then it gets to a point where like the stuff you're seeing is so extreme.
That can even happen though when it's not even something religious, like gym content.
Yeah. You start seeing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like trying to sell you some.
Oh yeah, it's always trying to sell you
products and.
That's actually the thing that stops TikTok from being addictive to me, because like every 3 scrolls is an ad, and they're so good at making the content, the ads look like content.
Yeah. Well, YouTube has started doing this thing where it doesn't show that it's an ad until like a few seconds in.
Yeah.
And a lot of ads know this, so they make it look like, oh, this is just one of those videos where someone like approaches someone on the street.
It's like an evolution of the attempt at the don't skip this ad thing that used to be a big mainstay on YouTube. Remember that?
It's much smarter now.
Yeah. It's way more like, let's just make this look real. Let's make it look like it's actually a video. It's genuine.
Kind of freaky because I think advertisement is evil. I think the concept is heinous. And I think the way it's moving is like advertisement is the difference between an advert and just content and reality to a point is blurring.
Yeah, like you can't even buy a TV now without there being an ad module like built in. It's like just another way to deliver ads to you.
Yeah. And everything is about ads. Because now, like, Prime has ads.
Unless you pay more. Yeah. Which I'm not going to fucking do.
Yeah. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that genuinely works as just a way to put me off. Every now, like, as long as I'm not, if I don't open the TikTok app, I'm good. You know? Once you've opened it, it just... Oh, half an hour's gone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, and I will only open it maybe if I'm like on the toilet or something. That's one I can put my hand up and say I don't really have an issue with, unlike YouTube or I just feel like, I don't know, have we just psychologically just changed to the point where I just feel like I always need constant stimulation? I always need music. I always need a podcast. I always need something. Like, do you play music in the shower or the bath, or like when do you actually like stop? Like, take a second. Like you're walking somewhere. You're not listening to music. You're not listening to it. When was the last time you've actively not done that? And is there necessarily anything inherently wrong with that?
I don't think there's something inherently wrong with it, but I do think it's a problem to need it.
But how do you find that line? If it's not a problem, then what's the line of like, when is it too much?
It's probably too much.
But then what are we supposed to do? We're like going back to the Gambino song about like, we are guinea pigs. We've just opened this Pandora's box of like the most addictive entertainment source ever created, fueled by ads.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really disconnect. You can't go Unabomber mode, really.
I mean, you can.
You could, but like,
you don't have to do the like bombing bit, but yeah, you could, but like, it's such an inconvenience. I don't know what the out is.
Well, it's a regular occurrence now when you go to, especially in cities, you sit down in a restaurant. It's like, yeah, the menu's on your phone. Just scan this QR code.
That's fine. It's more like, do you have those moments when you're scrolling through whichever thing you scroll through, the infinite scroll, the doom scroll, and like you go back to not having consciousness?
It's just like pure lizard brain. Like, it's just pure. Gone.
You're only experiencing that thing, and then you come back and you're like, I haven't thought for 20 minutes.
You're just like distracted,
and then you're like, oh shit,
you're in the goon
zone.
Put
that, yeah, that's the goon zone.
I do have a rule though where I just made this like rule in my head where the second you get pissed off, you close it. So that actually does help. Like, you're scrolling, you're starting the doom scroll, it's starting to begin, the boulder's been pushed off the hill and it's starting to roll.
Yep.
Then as long as you have that fortitude, the second you get pissed off, Nafa, you're not going to play me right now. I'm going to play you. I'm going to close this.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. Because man, I had this I had this moment the other day. I was walking Paisley, and I don't know if it, like kids are off school right now or whatever, but they were like kids playing in the playground. They all had their phones out making TikToks. They must have been 5, 6 years old. And there was this like mad little boy, who reminded me of, I'm gonna say a name of like a kiddie that's gonna trigger a memory for you, Nathaniel. He was Nathaniel vibes, like giving off this crazy energy, and he shouted something so insane. I had to write it down because I was just like so taken aback, like in the moment. Like he said, yeah, I don't need to get my phone. It was, he screamed, and he wasn't being serious. He's 5 years old. He's like, I'm gonna kill you. And then he screamed, I'm gonna chop you up into sushimi. I was like, what?
What's sushimi?
It's like a Japanese dish, right? Like
sushi. Like,
yeah. I was like, what? Is he just like really middle class? Or like, what?
Yeah. How does he know what sushimi? I didn't even know what sushimi is.
Yeah. But there was, makes me sound so old, but like seeing a 5-year-old with an iPhone and he was like filming like a leaf moving in the wind or whatever. I was just like, your brain is fucking fried and I know it. Like, you didn't stand a chance. You've just been handed a brick of cocaine.
Yeah. Yeah, and from that perspective, I kind of understand our parents, like, trepidation with video games. Because it was like this.
But what was extra fucked about that situation was that the generational divide in the way technology suddenly appeared, where we actually understood the technology better than our parents, so they didn't even know what rules to enforce because they didn't even know what the technology was capable of, but we did.
Yeah.
So how is someone who doesn't understand it supposed to enforce how younger people are supposed to engage with it?
Yeah, because now there's like a problem with literacy with technology, where people don't know how to use it.
We were in the lucky era where like we were taught these sort of ICT skills.
Yeah.
But because of phones and smartphones and tablet design, where everything is supposed to be extremely simplified, easy to use. Yeah, those types of skills, like how to install programs, how to code anything, how to just set up a basic PC or whatever.
Yeah.
Is kind of dying. Unless it's like your specific
thing. The counter to that is like, it's just fucking Google it. Like,
but Google's kind of like ruined now. It's just Quora. Have you noticed that?
Quora.
It's this weird, it's kind of like Yahoo Answers. But because they've got such good search engine optimization, whenever you search anything, it's always just Quora threads. Which is just like random people just like contributing in questions.
The people who actually like contribute and answer stuff in forums, they're saints. They're genuine.
Or are they psychos? Because I remember I used to like Yahoo Answers and there was some psychos.
No, I mean the people who like get the answer. You know when you have a PC problem and you're like searching forum, and then there's like the guy who's figured it out. Yeah. And not only has he figured it out, but he's found that question and answered it.
But there is nothing worse than when you have a specific like PC or software problem.
God, I know what you're gonna say.
You find the thread where the question's been asked, but there's no responses.
No, when there are like 10 responses and they're all like, "Yeah, me too."
Yeah,
like, why are you even saying that?
Yeah.
The question's been asked. You add nothing by doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those people who figure it out, God bless them.
Yeah, they are a type of saint. The hamburger helpers out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, I saved this one till last, bro. Because I don't like just making the show pointlessly political. Because it's not really that funny normally. This is a little bit funny. John Frome's Poopy can take us away. Thoughts on the Tories wanting to have mandatory military service unless you're rich and can pay a fine? I often think Australia is a shithole, but then I hear of some truly nightmarish news come out of either the UK or USA, and I think it's not so bad. So, it was like a couple of weeks ago now, like Rishi came out, our Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, came out in the rain and announced just out of the blue that I guess there's going to be a general election on Independence Day.
Yeah. How funny is that?
Awesome, embarrassing, like in the loop moment of Rishi out there in the rain. His probably like £2,000 suit getting like drenched. No one comes out with an umbrella to help him. Someone starts blasting some song from the 90s, Things Can Only Get Better. The song's called. It's just like, oh, this is sitcom shit right here. And then if that's not enough in and of itself, dropping this idea that like, yeah, we're going to bring back the national service if we win. Woo! Well, you know what? You changed my mind with that. Like, what?
Yeah. I feel,
Are they like trying to sandbag themselves?
Maybe they're doubling down on that old person vote. Because they're going to be like, yeah, young people should die. You know?
Yeah, like, what have I got to lose? I'm past the age, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's not going to happen to me. You know? So I'll vote for him.
I'm probably safe, yeah.
And like, I just hate young people. Because, like...
Yeah, you got to hate people, protect what's yours.
And
then blame them eating avocados for it. You know, it's all the avocados.
Yeah, they need toughening up.
Yeah,
because they eat tofu and avocados.
So go and invade somewhere and die. That'll teach you.
Yeah,
that'll do it. That'll sort it.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a crazy year.
Yeah. So we might be enlisted in some war.
No, I'll just say I got a boo-boo.
Yeah.
My brain boo-boo's a bit sore. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What's a good out?
Brain boo-boo.
No, I feel like if stuff gets serious enough, they'll be like, fuck your brain boo-boo.
Brain boo-boo aside, you gotta go.
Yeah. You're just meat, you know? Cut your leg off or something. Apparently that was a thing when they started, like, getting people for the Ukraine war, like Russia.
Oh, yeah, the videos of like Russians like breaking each other's legs.
Like the most searched thing was like how to break your leg.
Yeah.
On Google. So,
that's dark.
Yeah.
So we got that. We got. It's just gonna be quite a charged year. It feels like.
Yeah, I think
with Trump as well.
I don't want to I don't want to be too doomer, but I feel like some big thing is on the horizon. You know?
Yeah, I don't know if
like touch wood.
I don't know if I really want to go to America. For like a year or so.
Yeah,
just
like stuff's popping off in America. There's stuff in everywhere else. Like France and America have both said they'll send ground troops into Ukraine if Russia pushes beyond certain points, and it's like, okay, so that kind of becomes a big deal. And then that could just go. And to be honest, if even if the Tories don't get in, I could see like national service being a thing either way.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out, if it's even like possible, because like, you know, it's different to World War One, you know, where it's like,
oh, let's go, let's go, like, do our country proud,
and
governor.
Like, yeah, the way you could kind of control the message, you know.
Yeah, whereas all it takes is one dude out there with an iPhone.
Yeah, no one believes anything anymore.
Yeah, but also the reality of like the brutality of war, especially like modern war. Oh look, there's like a fucking flying robot in the sky.
There's a robot dog with a turret.
Yeah, the robot dog flamethrower fucking machine gun. Yeah. Like, yeah, I guess Black Ops 2, back to the Black Ops topic, like the walking tanks and stuff, might be real.
I say, yeah, just lean into Black Ops 6, put the horse blinders on, and just bloody goon.
Yeah, make the most of it while you can.
I'm going to be gooning on Destiny in a few days' time, then I'm gone, you know?
I might, what can I goon?
Red Dead mods.
Yeah.
Someone even messaged me, I think it was this morning, while I was doing a poop. And they were like, come on, man, I got a suggestion for this video, but also, come on, man. Like, Destiny's never going to change. Just stop, dude. I replied, and was just like, man, I'm just sunken cost fallacy. I can't I can't stop now. Yeah.
You're the most sunken of all.
I'm in the sunken place. That's what Destiny's like at this point, you know, just I'm there.
Let me go.
Well, bro, any final uplifting little moments before we wrap this guy up?
Yeah, stick around when you want to hear us review Black Ops 6. We're going to stay on top of the news schedule regarding Call of Duty. We're going to be chasing that the reveal stream and the reveal date, and we're going to be chasing the drop date, and we're going to be checking out what's happening with Warzone, if they're dropping any leaks, any little deets, any small little Easter eggs. That
Maggie T expansion pack.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So stick around, like, comment, subscribe. If you've got any sick Red Dead mods, leave it in a comment. That's my new thing. Yeah, I mean, just stay real, fams.
Stay real. Grab a club and go beat a seal.
Beat that.